Woo! Hey, it's the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and you're listening to Cancel This. Woo!
Hey guys, welcome in. Happy Tuesday, March 28th to Cancel This, cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Tap of the Hassle. Lizzie Sparks in studio running the social media side of things with your comments. We've got Scotty Gherkin. He's on the boards, running the boards, making sure we look and sound as good as we can. Eric Johnson might be in today. We'll see. Who knows? Anyway, we welcome you in. All right, guys, jump in. Do what you got to do. Let us know what's going on in your world this morning as we say good morning. All right, cancelthisshow.com, of course, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, all the time on cancelthisshow.com. Today, coming up on the show real quick at 8:30, our legal analyst, Brad Young, is going to quickly join us just to set the stage. I want him to tell me I'm wrong because I think Mayor Tashara Jones out of St. Louis suing Kia and Hyundai, as she threatened to do months and months ago, if they didn't change the security mechanisms on their cars to make them more difficult to rob.
Because it's all their fault.
And to steal. It's all their fault. So instead of getting serious on crime, she wants to get serious on the manufacturers. I was told before it's an absolute joke. It's all theater that she's learning from her cohorts in D.C., but I hope that I'm wrong, and if I am, I will apologize. So Brad's going to join us at 8:30 to make sure that we understand that. Sad news, obviously, the shooting yesterday at the school, some follow-up from that in regards to what happened at that Nashville school. I actually have a friend whose good friend lost her daughter. She was one of the 3 girls killed, 9-year-old girl. Tragic, horrible, unexplainable. Also interesting, I don't know which one of you two, Tabitha or Lizzie, sent it to me, but we've got some pictures of 4 recent shootings, all involving, and it's not an assault on trans, but they're all trans.
Yes, 4 of the last shooters were all trans.
I mean, what the hell is going on? A former student, we'll get into that. Donald Trump finally responds in an interview with Hannity. People are always like, oh, Trump needs to be more civilized. He needs to be more presidential. And then he is in an interview, and then guess what? I hear people ripping him for not being Donald Trump. Can't win, can't lose. People are going to be who they are. I'm convinced if you're in the public eye, you can't please everybody.
That's true.
Be who you are. Do what you do. Whatever skills, whatever sets you apart, you bring to the table, and you just can't worry about the rest. But Donald Trump, more presidential, more quiet. Anyway, I thought it was a little bit different. I told you about my new favorite entertainer, Tom McDonald, the rapper, trying to go kind of pop with John Rich. They become number 1 on iTunes. That's right. We talked about them last week. Their new song, End of the World, all self-produced. Can't wait to get into that story as well. Plus, we've got phones. Have you heard the news that now experts are stating that cell phones will be implanted in the bodies by 2030?
Does that surprise you?
Stop saying that. Yes. That's like, stop. Is this a surprise? Okay, then there's no show. Ladies and gentlemen, Tab of the Hassle.
I don't mean
she's going to
don't
go back
talk
to
about
bed
it
and not be able to sleep.
I don't mean don't talk about it. I mean, literally, does anything you see in the news these days surprise you? Because we know the trajectory we're on with technology.
Yeah. Well, in that sense, no. But when you hear it, yes, absolutely. And of course, the latest, if there's any more drama coming from a possible Trump indictment. Anyway, you won't want to miss Biden. Absolute embarrassment yesterday as well. If this doesn't put you over the top, there's no way he should get 1 vote. Not 1. After what he did yesterday, you'll see it if you haven't seen it yet. All right, lots to come. Now take a look at our sponsors, our advertisers, our partners. If you need any of these products, please check them out. Check them out. Let them know you heard about them from cancelthisshow.com. Back with more of this show right after this.
Hi, have you ever heard of a use tax? Well, it's just another name for sales tax that may be paid on a purchase from Amazon or any out-of-state seller. Until recently, out-of-state sellers didn't have to collect the same tax as our local stores. But recently, the Missouri legislature voted to give our state its portion. Now Chesterfield voters must approve the law to get our city portion. Vote yes on Prop U to support our local stores and help our city pay for police, parks, and streets, paid for by citizens means for Chesterfield's future. Gerald Wright, Treasurer.
Hey guys, this is Dr. Mahesh Bhagway. I'm an orthopedic surgeon here in St. Louis for over the last 20 years. I went to Washington University. I got my medical degree at St. Louis University. From local high school athletes, college athletes, weekend warriors, injured workers, and even Cardinal baseball players, I've treated them all. Our practice strives to personalize care with every new patient being seen by me. To find me, contact my staff at drbagwe.com. That's DRBAGWE.com. Hopefully you don't need me, but if you do, you can find me now.
White Glove Exotic Services is St. Louis's first concierge vehicle service center. Alex David's team is passionate, certified technicians. They have industry-leading tools and equipment. They do it all. They pick up and deliver your car, hands-free. Plus, they have elite detailing service, customized PPF wraps and tinting, and inspection and titling assistance. White Glove also specializes in logistics and storing options, vehicle listings, and consignment. White Glove Exotic Services. Check them out at cancelthisshow.com.
Marco, wait. What? No response? Hi, I'm Curtis Barks with Complete Auto Body and Repair, offering full service and auto repair to St. Louis and St. Charles. We are looking for someone to say polo. That's right, we are hiring. We want you now. If you would like to work in a well-paying environment, then you owe it to yourself to stop by one of our 6 Complete Auto Body and Repair locations. Will you help me find that missing person? Please call me directly at 636-488-HIRE. That's right, 636-488-4473.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixes cars.
As all of you may know, the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
Hey guys, welcome back into the show. It's cancelthisshow.com. Welcome into our live podcast, of course, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Go back through, check out all of the podcasts that we have. Alex, our marketing guy for marketing sales, gave us some information this morning. Massive podcast listens, not necessarily the video, but we are growing by leaps and bounds on the listening aspect. Remember, you go to cancelthisshow.com, you find all of your viewing platforms, not only live, but when the show ends 24/7. But if you're on the go and you want to listen, you can do that as well. The Straight Podcast. All of those platforms are there. iHeart, Google, you name it. Spotify, we've got them. And, of course, Apple, they're there as well. So we're grateful for that happening. Welcome into the show again today, guys. All right. We've got funny today. We've got sad today. We've got informational, and we've got information that just makes you shake your head as normal. I'm Vic Faust with Tap of the Hassle. Lizzie Sparks in the studio. And, of course, Scotty Gherkin on the boards. Ladies, you ready to rock and roll on a Tuesday?
Absolutely.
Before and Scott. I said ladies.
And ladies.
And Scott.
And the other lady.
Stop it.
And Scotty with a great voice.
And,
Stop it.
And if it's your birthday today, happy birthday. As I say, happy birthday to my dad. He jumps in on the show a lot, too.
Oh, happy birthday, Vic's daddy.
Yeah, so that's not me all the time with the same name. We get confused a lot. You'll see the names. If you see a name printed, it's exactly the same all the time. So people get, oh, well, that was you or this is you. No, that's my dad. That's the name. And the names get confused.
Are you a junior?
A lot. I am a junior.
Are you really?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
I am a junior.
And your dad is
very
so sweet. He sends us stars all the time.
Yeah, thanks,
He's the
Dad.
best. You have a great dad.
Oh.
He is so supportive. It's so wonderful.
That's why I take the time to do that. Not from a self-serving standpoint, but he is all about this show.
He really
sure is.
And has been there from the get-go. So that's for sure. So happy birthday to big old dad. All right. Let's rock and roll, boys and girls. We get into it. And I guess we have to start with the tragedy. I don't know what to make of this in regard. It happens. We've dealt with this. It makes me sick to my stomach when I hear that a manifesto comes out And this woman, who now identifies as a man, I didn't want to show pictures of her. I didn't want to show video of it. I chose this school because it was less secure. So Democrats, don't you dare for 1 second say Republicans have blood on their hands because of, quote, gun laws when there's over 40,000 of them, when you can't even protect yourself or put the proper securities in schools.
And there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for every school in this country to not have safety precautions in place. There's no reason.
If people want to do bad things, they're going to find a way to do them.
They sure will.
Or attempt to do them.
Exactly.
Gun laws do not change. And as we know, where do the crimes happen? They happen, and people choose places where they know guns are not, so they can do what they want. It's pure evil. And the people who do these are pure evil. And it is interesting when you look at what happened there. God bless the 6 people who lost their lives there. Scotty, when you get a chance, I found this very interesting. Did you find the picture too that I sent you? I sent you a picture as well.
Picture. I did not get a picture.
Okay.
I
thought you had.
I got all the videos. No, that's it.
Okay.
No pictures. Instagram videos. Can you resend it?
Yeah, I'm going to resend it. It's just bizarre what's going on here. So when you saw what happened yesterday, what do you guys make of it?
It makes me sick. It absolutely makes me sick when I know that we're spending money, sending millions of dollars over to Ukraine. We're printing out money to bail out banks and everything else we need to do, sending out stimulus checks to people who don't need it. And then we're not taking money to secure our schools. There's no excuse for this. And Democrats are trying to get rid of resource officers. They don't want resource officers in the school. We're heading down such a terrible trajectory with these schools that anytime there's a school shooting, like I said, nothing fails to surprise me these days.
We hadn't had one in a while. And when this stuff happens, and I always wonder, and I'm sorry, forgive me if I'm bad in thinking this, but I've thought, and Scotty, I sent that to you. That's been sent, buddy. It makes me wonder. We've talked about radio airwaves. We've talked about, do people get pushed into doing something? Why do people do what they do at the times that they do them? It almost seems as if when things quiet down, then all of a sudden, oh, here comes another gun shooting, a school shooting, and they're not stopped. Have we not learned that you have to protect the schools 100%?
Even private schools.
Our kids are sitting ducks.
Even private schools. And why can't teachers be armed? Why can't they?
Well, that's
a
tough situation. Some you have to remember the teachers unions are so liberal. There are so many liberal teachers out there
for private schools.
And for private schools, but it's the same thing. Not everyone wants to carry a gun. Not everyone feels like they should have to.
No, but right.
I think teachers should be allowed to if they want to.
That's the key. And even if they're not, why can't you protect the fronts of schools?
And that's just it. Bidney was just asking what should we do? Well, every school should have some type of resource officer. We hate to think that we have to put private security in schools, but we are at a point where we have to put private security at schools. We have to make sure that a lot of times these schools don't even have locked doors. We have to have locked doors. There is bulletproof glass that is available to any school. It's not that expensive anymore. There are different ways to put safety measures into place.
14 minutes is what it took. 14 minutes for police to arrive on scene of the shooting. Does that seem like a lot? I mean, from the first shots of the person,
I don't think it sounds like a lot because it takes time for police to respond. But that is why, Vic, we say so often, whether you're at home or whether it's a school or whether it's just your person and you're at work, we have to rely on ourselves.
Yeah, you do. And you have to have somebody there because...
And that's why you need resource officers.
And that's why you can find the video. I didn't want to show... I get sick to my stomach watching the video over and over and over again. Yeah, she shot through the windows when she came through.
And that's what they'll do.
Which is why you have to have... The only way to defend yourself. When you have evil people possessed by evil, possessed by demons and spirits, they're going to come in and do what they want to do. Obviously, they know they're going to die and they don't care.
If teachers don't want to have guns, the people in the front office, because that's usually where they could be stopped. When we owned a child care center, my husband was there with a gun, and each of our teachers who would want a gun, we had a gun safe within the school. Because even in a preschool, we had issues where we had intruders tried to get in. We never had to shoot any, but we were prepared to do so. And schools, this sounds harsh with babies in our schools, but they have to be prepared to shoot to kill. Someone in the school, if they're not going to have a resource officer, then they need to have a trained teacher, a trained administrator. Really, I think almost all administrators should be, be trained to shoot.
I agree, but we have to remember the liability issues and the insurance.
Issue.
Yes.
And that's why it's so important to hire private security. Or hire private security or have a police officer stationed at your school, make it a substation. There are ways around it. And the reason why I don't say every teacher should be armed or we should arm the administrators or the front desk people is because then what if you have an accident?
Not should be given the opportunity.
They should be given the opportunity.
to
Scott,
do so.
can you put that back up again? I appreciate it, buddy. I don't know what's going on and why, and this isn't an assault on trans people before you make it that way. Just stating the facts. These are 4 of the recent shootings that have happened in this country. Colorado Springs shooter, non-binary. The Denver shooter, trans. The Aberdeen shooter, trans. And of course, the Nashville shooter yesterday, trans. Is there a connection? You have Republicans in D.C. stating there are some mental illnesses that are going on when it comes to trans, and it affects them in certain ways that they're dealing with. Somehow, some way, we have to get the mental health kicked up, somehow, some way, dealing with these situations that are going on, because it's when you look at the amount of people who actually identify as trans and then the amount of shootings that take place, the percentage of the shootings by trans, are you kidding me?
Considering the trans folks make up less than 1% of the population in this country. But wouldn't you say all shooters that commit these types of crimes, they're all mentally ill. They all have mental health issues.
But you can't lessen what you see.
And you can't. No, it is a growing trend.
That's right in front of you.
Oh, I completely agree.
It blew me away when this was sent out. And I'm like, my God, you have got to be kidding me. This is actually happening. And as if this wasn't bad enough, our president yesterday, just wait until you hear this. Our president, Joe Biden, came out to do a speech and a talk, and it wasn't on local news. It was on Fox. I didn't see it anywhere else.
They cut that speech out on other news outlets.
Local media, shame on you.
Yes.
Local media, shame on you. Local media, shame on you. You need to. These are opportunities for you to go out and earn trust. When you say, "Hey, you can count on us," the public can't count on you if you're not showing this. Or radio stations, you need to be able to show this. Scott, are you ready to show the Joe Biden?
Hello? I believe so. It's one of those Instagram ones. Let's see what we got.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. God. Ben, how are you, pal? One of the best guys in the United States Congress, Ben Cardin. Folks, welcome to the White House. It's a delight to have you all here. And who are those good-looking kids back there?
Okay, I purposely did not tell you what that timing was of the speech because, Scotty, if you could, when you get it back up again to show people. Now, watch this again, remembering and knowing that was Joe Biden right before he was ready to talk about what happened in Nashville. Does that change it? This is your president, not yours, but the president of the United States joking about ice cream before talking about 6 people being murdered at a school, including 3 young children.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Watch
he doesn't
it.
care.
If this is not the worst thing I've ever seen from a president, I don't know what it is.
Play it again.
Please.
My name is Joe Biden. I'm Dr. Joe Biden's husband. And I ate Jenny's ice cream, chocolate chip. I came down because I heard there was chocolate chip ice cream. By the way, I have a whole refrigerator full upstairs. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. God. Ben, how are you, pal? one of the best guys in the United States Congress, Ben Cardin. Folks, welcome to the White House. It's a delight to have you all here. And who are those good-looking kids back there?
Oh, that makes me sick.
I mean, this makes my blood boil.
Mm-hmm.
This, whatever you want to call him, joking, laughing, ice cream, good-looking kids, whispering, you had all of the Biden in about 15 to 20 to 30 seconds.
He's disgusting. He really is.
You still want him as your president?
Never did.
No, I'm speaking facetiously to people. Shocking.
And for the people in the back who are clapping and laughing and carrying on with him, how
people voted for
shameful.
him.
Shameful.
And of course, we're not going to have Democrats or people. And yet we talk about the uniparty. There's problems with both parties. But if you're going to take the lesser of two evils, my God, are you kidding me? Democrats, where are you? He is so out of touch. Did he really know what had just happened?
He doesn't. He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Is that being intentionally done? We don't try to pick on him on a daily basis, but my God, does he give us material every single day?
I don't think he's capable cognitively of knowing the situation and what's going on and being able to react to a situation emotionally as you should. I don't think it's that he wouldn't care. I think that he's just not cognitively there.
I mean, and I just feel sorry for people out there who really think that he's a president, not to give him any more, but we have a guy on our chat line. I just feel sorry for him because he's so lost like Biden is. You're just lost. You're lost. And you think that is good and fine and normal. I mean, you're talking about a horrible tragedy and he's joking about ice cream.
And then talking about the good-looking kids in the back.
Oh, whispering.
Do you think that it's possible that someone lured him there saying, well, let's go because there's ice cream? I can't imagine that was supposed to be part of his spiel. That has to be something he ad-libbed and added on his own. Do they say, hey, Joe, let's go make this speech. There's ice cream. You can have ice cream afterwards to lure him there.
Good
because
point.
when you deal with an elderly person, I went through this when I was helping
and you're
take
not
care
being,
of my grandma.
And you're not joking. You're being You're not being sarcastic.
Serious.
This
I'm not
is
being
what's
sarcastic.
sad.
Because whenever I was helping take care of my grandmother, that's how we would sometimes get her to do things. We would buy her favorite foods and do these different things. Okay, well, if you do this, if you come in here, if you, whatever, do her physical therapy, you can have ice cream or you can drink this or whatever. But that is often how you have to deal with people.
Shame on you,
who
Joe
are
Biden.
elderly. It's elder abuse.
Shame on your handler. Shame on you for coming out and being tone deaf. Situational awareness. Being just sick. I mean, just what we saw there were actions of a sick man, a man that's detached, a man that has no clue that's going on, and people let him do that.
He's repeating the words they say without the emotion behind them. That's all it is.
If you don't think
and he
chocolate chip ice cream.
And he ad-libbed that. He had to have just added in that about the ice cream. It was probably what was on his mind.
To talk about shootings. And then there are people who say, oh, yeah, this guy should be there. Oh, let's go after Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. We have never had a president who does or acts or says the things that this guy says. Yet you still have media outlets. Most media outlets will not show you that. Think again before you ingest something. Think again when people try to tell you, oh, Joe Biden is so good and I like our government. Is your life really better? Are you really confident? And that stuff gets sent out across the world.
Most people will never even know this happened. Think about that. Most people will never know. If you're listening to the show or shows like ours, you're going to hear it. But most people will never know this even took place.
Which is why we're always going to show you the things. And guess what? We'll rip Republicans on this show too. It's canceltheshow.com. We're not afraid to talk about any topic.
We do it all the time.
Which is why we do what we do, which is why we're growing. And we're grateful for everybody that jumps in on this. It was sickening, but it has to be said. It has to be played. And I don't care if it has to be played every day until election or until this man says he is not running for re-election, because we can only take so much of the worst presidents in the history of this country, which is why we continue to show it. And we will. Now the families are left behind to deal with the tragedies and the loss that are unspeakable and nobody could even begin to imagine unless you've been through something like that yourself. And we're left wondering, and guess what? No gun laws added to the 40,000 plus can change or would change what happened yesterday. It just wouldn't happen.
You are, and that's the best point you've made. Is you are so right. Well, you've made many you've made many good points. But the Democrats, the left, they always use these incidents. I think they're thankful when we have these school shootings because that allows them to go out and tout their anti-gun policies. You know what we need? We need better mental health care. That's what we need.
Of course we do.
We need better options for these people who feel like they have no choice but to go out and shoot up a school and kill 3 little innocent 9-year-olds. It's disgusting.
No, it
and
really
it's
is.
not about guns because you know what? Even if you take a school and you put a resource officer there and you put bulletproof glass up and you have your armed teachers, these people are still going to try to get into schools to hurt kids, or they're going to wait outside until they get in. They're always going to come up with ways. We have to go back and tackle mental health care is what we need to do.
And you would know because, I mean, you run a security company. You book people to run security. And if anybody would know, it's you because you know more than any of us do when it comes to that situation. We'll continue to talk more about this today if you want, of course, on the chat line. Obviously, Lizzie is doing that as well. Another story that we're jumping to real quick is the fact I want to be told that I'm wrong from this standpoint. 2 days in a row, we must be living life right. Brad's schedule opened up. Our legal advisor, when he comes in, Brad Young from Hairstyle Fisher and Young. Brad, we switched from a topic that's sad and tragic. Not sure if you heard Joe Biden saying what he said yesterday, which was absolutely sick to us, being
I did hear that.
Lost. I hope, and I started this podcast today hoping that you would tell me that I'm wrong. And I can apologize to St. Louis City Mayor Tashard Jones for bringing what I think is a theatrical lawsuit against Kia and Hyundai. She said in previous months that she would sue the auto manufacturer if they didn't make their cars more difficult to break into. So she's actually filing suit. Please tell me this is a joke.
It is a joke. But before I dive into the details on this, Vic, I want to talk about what you and Tabitha were discussing a moment ago, because actually these two stories are connected. And I know you may say, wait a minute, a shooting in Nashville and St. Louis suing Kia because their cars are, according to St. Louis, too easy to steal. How are those two stories related? Well, here's how they're related. And this is an important distinction. When you look at this tragedy in Nashville, Tabitha, who's to blame for this? I mean, the media says it's the gun lobby, but who's actually to blame for the shooting?
It would be our lack of mental health services, in my opinion.
Indirectly.
The proximate cause, there's a legal phrase called the proximate cause. The proximate cause means what is the primary cause of the incident. The primary cause of the incident is the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, there may be reasons why the shooter did what, and I'm going to use the correct term, did what he did. But in this instance, the media tries to blame everyone else. We have the exact same situation when we're talking about the situation with the Kias and the cars being stolen in the city of St. Louis. Because the proximate cause of cars being stolen are criminals stealing cars. And yet the city is trying to blame the manufacturer of the cars, just like the media isn't trying to blame the transgendered student for shooting others, but they're trying to blame the manufacturer of the product used in the crime. It's this exact same theory.
How far does this go? How far does this lawsuit actually go, Brad?
Oh, it'll go to a trial, I promise you. There are other cities.
What's she suing for?
Well, let me break down the legal stuff here, but let me just tell you initially how this is going to happen. Because St. Louis is doing this, Cleveland, Columbus, Ohio, Milwaukee, San Diego, Seattle, all of these cities are following in this same playbook, which is don't blame the thieves, but blame the manufacturer of the cars. Now, legally, and I actually did a deep dive into this yesterday doing legal research. I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but let me give you the treetop view. There's 4 parts to prove a negligence lawsuit. You have to show the existence of a legal duty. You have to show that the defendant breached that duty, that the plaintiff suffered an injury, and that there's have to be some connection between the injury and the breach of the duty. So let's start with that very first legal point, breach of the duty. The city's alleging that the car manufacturers have a legal duty to make their cars as theft proof as possible. That's a lie.
It's very much a lie.
It's a lie. In fact, this is where I did the deep dive. In 1984, Congress enacted the Motor Vehicle Theft Law Enforcement Act. And this is where car manufacturers have to comply with regulations. But what's interesting here is under the law, it requires manufacturers who are manufacturing cars that are designated as high theft car lines to put in a vehicle identification number, which of course everyone does. And if they want to, it's voluntary. Car manufacturers can install anti-theft devices. In other words, it's not required under federal law or federal regulation. So I don't understand legally how any of these cities can even overcome that very first hurdle of saying they had a duty to make these cars as safe as possible, because federal law doesn't make them have that duty.
Brad, you are always 100% right on the mark. And just like you said, it is the shooter that is accountable. It is the people breaking into the cars that are accountable. But for whatever reason, you see this in every Democrat-led city. The city leaders want to place the blame on anyone but the actual person doing the crime.
You're exactly right. And because it fits the narrative. All right, let's look in the city. Who's stealing the cars in the city? Primarily youths. In all likelihood, a lot of those are minorities. And so the Democrat establishment doesn't want to blame that constituency. So it's much easier to blame those evil companies who make automobiles because it's all their fault. The same is true in the shooting situation. There's no way that the Democrats are going to blame a transgendered male for this shooting, but they can blame the gun lobby. They can blame Trump supporters. They can blame right-wing extremists for refusing to pass restrictive gun laws. That's easy because it fits their narrative. But just so folks know, you're not actually blaming the responsible party. In the shooting, it's the shooter. In the city, it's the thieves. Those are the responsible parties.
Well, Tashara Jones had an opportunity yesterday to do something else, to use her time towards something else. Instead, she chose this in front of the cameras, this to try to get people's attention, and this as if it's going to help. And even if she was successful, which she won't, all it does is waste time. By the way, who is paying for this? Who's working the hours for this?
Well, what's interesting is the city hired the law firm of Dowd Bennett. This is the same law firm that represented the city against the Rams. So Dowd Bennett is truly at the top of the food chain when it comes to law firms. So what you're going to see here is this. This is the game plan. Even though I think there's this enormous problem that they cannot get over in terms of does Kia have a duty to install every anti-theft device possible on a car? They can't overcome that legal burden, I don't think. But it won't stop a city judge from allowing the case to go forward. It won't prevent the case from going to a jury. It won't prevent a jury from getting an enormous, they'll probably find in favor of the city for millions of dollars. Okay. And then where the real fight here is up on appeal. But if the city has an enormous jury verdict in their pocket, then it becomes easier to settle that kind of a case on appeal because Kia doesn't want the bad publicity. I think that is the legal strategy for filing this lawsuit.
And then here we have with more reparations, because that's exactly where that money will go.
In all likelihood, it will. And what's ironic is it'll go. In fact, some of that money may actually go to the thieves who've been stealing the cars.
Oh my God.
Think about that. Let that soak in a minute, Vic.
And it's true. We're not even joking. It's actually
no. So if there's a big verdict and this case settles, individuals in the city of St. Louis could get paid for their theft of stealing cars.
You can't make
paid by the city. You couldn't make this stuff up.
How long does it all go out again? How long do you think this goes if it actually goes to trial? How long?
4 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll be dealing with this for a long time because the way Kia wins this is on appeal, because I do see a clear path for the city to get a verdict, because you've got liberal judges in the city, you've got liberal jurors in the city, and they'll give a pretty big number for this. Now, here's the one thing that's different. This is filed in federal court. So federal court has a jury pool that's larger than just the city of St. Louis. In fact, that jury pool dips down into towards Cape Girardeau. In fact, I mean, about halfway down to Cape Girardeau. So you may have a jury pool that's a little different than obviously your normal case filed in the city. And that literally could make all the difference here.
Brad, we appreciate you, my friend. You are a superstar. We know you're on Camo X. We know you're on 97.1. Can you give specifics on how people can find you, not only when you're on live, but maybe even your social media as well?
Well, you know, I'm one of those really odd people. I have zero time for any social media, and I can't afford to pay some 19-year-old to do my social media. Okay. I have no social media presence. I just don't have time. I've got to take care of clients all day because radio, at least from my perspective, doesn't pay the bills. So I still have to keep up with my law practice. Okay. So I just do the radio stuff because I love engaging in ideas and discussing these ideas in a way that I thought was missing from the media, frankly, from a legal perspective. But to get to your point, Vic, I'm on Wednesday nights on Camo X from 8 to 10 p.m. That's 11:20, or it's at odyssey.com. I do have a segment Wednesday mornings at 8:35 every Wednesday morning for about 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then I do fill-in work over on 97.1 whenever someone gets COVID.
What happened in 97.1? Why are they sucking so bad?
The first,
come on, Eric. What kind of a question is that?
What happened to 97.1?
The first word, Eric, we haven't seen you since last week, and that's
well, I got to start off with the right foot.
He crawls out of bed and starts hitting the ball guy. Thanks so much.
Not you. You're fantastic. But the days of Glover are over, I guess.
Brad.
Same with Camo X.
Brad, anyway. The reason we do what we do is the same reason you do what you do.
Yes.
So we thank you. We thank you.
Yes.
My pleasure. Anytime, guys.
Thanks for educating us once again. Brad Young of Harris, Dow, Fisher, and Young. I call him a star.
He
all
is
the
a
time.
star.
Absolutely.
He is legitimately, when you see him on your air, you're excited to hear what he says. He's one of those kind of guys.
We are around here because he educates us and he tells us what the hell is actually going on in life. So Brad breaks it down. We transitioned as well as you can from Biden's debacle at the press conference and, of course, the tragedy that happened in Nashville to and how the media refuses to talk about it and show it and focus on what's important to Shar's fake lawsuit or real lawsuit when it comes to Kia and Hyundai.
This presidential update brought to you by Baskin and Robbins.
or actually Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's, for sure.
So we are idiots.
I mean, hey, buddy. We cover serious topics and everything. You couldn't be here yesterday because your lead singer got hurt. What is everything all right?
No, he's not all right. Here's the deal. If you don't know how to ride a motorcycle, stay away from motorcycles. If you don't know how to handle pythons and cobras, don't go in a damn python and cobra cage. Would you stop? Would you not do that? He was riding a motorcycle. He bought a motorcycle in Chicago. Will Lackey, lead singer, whatever.
Platinum Rock Legends.
And I'm glad he's okay. But man, but motorcycles are dangerous. I'm sorry
they are very dangerous.
If you've been riding a motorcycle 20 years, you're at the will of somebody else's car.
That's right.
And he took a wrong turn, and then another guy took a wide turn, and it ended up hitting him. And so he's
was he wearing a helmet?
He was wearing a helmet, thank God. But here's my PSA on motorcycles. If you didn't start at 12 years old riding an Enduro 80 and then moved up to a 125 at 15, and then when you were 18 years old, get on a 175 and learn street biking, and then by the time you're 25, you are on a motorcycle. If you didn't follow that path of being on a motorcycle and you start in your 40s or 50s, don't do it. There's other things that are just as dangerous that you won't get killed on, like skydiving.
People don't watch. I when I'm on the highway, I'm a person, I look everywhere before I switch lanes, but people do not look. People do not look, and they hit motorcycles all the time. I read in the newspaper.
This is you know what you've been complaining about?
Traffic and people driving like idiots.
Hey, this podcast goes where it goes. Here we are.
I get frustrated every day with traffic, Eric, because people don't pay attention. They're not looking for motorcycles. And it is true that some motorcyclists drive like complete idiots, and it's no question they have
some
accidents.
Do. The majority motorcycle owners
are very responsible.
They are.
The majority are very responsible.
Motorcycle. I was a motorcycle. I drove motorcycles. That's all I rode in Seattle. I didn't ride anything else. But here's the deal. All I'm saying is this: they're dangerous as hell. I think my if I was talking to him right now, I would say, look, you're taking this too light. You got to go to class. You got to get your license, solid insurance. You have to go on. You have to go. There's places you don't need to go yet. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You need to go where there's not a lot of cars. Get very familiar with this thing. And that's all I'm saying. So whoever said BS, Eric, is I'm not BSing. Seriously.
Actually, I hear people saying you're giving great advice, Eric.
Well,
or I see people saying you're giving.
I think
great
you get
advice.
to a certain age, Vic. Maybe you're getting to that age because I know your 50th is coming up.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you.
I know.
But I think it's there comes a point when you look at you around and you go, I need a little adventure. I missed out. Where's my bucket list?
Are you saying a midlife crisis?
It's not, I don't know. I don't know that there's such a thing as a midlife crisis.
Or maybe you decide to be adventurous.
You think there is?
Yes.
I don't think there is.
I do think people go
I see them in Corvettes every day.
midlife crises,
Good point.
especially when you have means to have a crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm a little bit ticked off because it seems like a lot of midlife crises are they come to this, I got to do something. Let's do something dangerous mode.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Makes perfect.
Let's do something
perfect sense.
adventurous and dangerous.
Lizzie and I are getting ready to start our midlife crisis.
Yeah, we're getting ready, but I don't think we'll do motorcycles. We've got plans, though, don't we, Tab?
We do.
We've got
Yeah.
really good plans for our midlife crisis.
I mean, let's
but
go.
it isn't a motorcycle.
Vic's like, what is going on here?
I'm looking, going, oh my god, oh my god.
good.
Where are
Can
we
you give
going
us a
with
hint
that?
what it is?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
But
Yeah, we
Never
made
mind.
that up just to
Okay.
sound exciting.
But I hope that Will's okay. Thank God it wasn't life-threatening injuries. When I saw that text from you, Eric, yesterday, it absolutely terrified me. I didn't even know he had a motorcycle. I had no idea.
You know what? Here's what I think. I've noticed this one a lot too. I don't know if Scotty has either, but if you get in a motorcycle wreck, I can't tell you how many times I've heard someone say, it missed it by an inch.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard that one?
Yes.
It missed my blank artery by an inch.
That's right.
Well, this was one of those cases because he showed us, and I go, I didn't need to see that. And he goes, yeah, if it was an inch over, I'd be dead right now.
Oh, wow.
I hate that. So,
And it is
especially-
unnecessary.
yeah.
And especially when it's somebody you're so close to and somebody
Mhm.
you've been such good friends with for a long time,
Yeah.
to know they defy death in that way. But you know, people drive crazier and crazier on the highways all the time. And it's such a dangerous situation for people who drive motorcycles because you can be the most safe driver and you have to watch out for all the people around you who are not paying attention.
Yeah.
Everybody's in such a hurry. I mean, trust me, I drive a Jeep. I almost get killed every single day because people want to drive 100 miles an hour down the highway. And I'm even over in the far slowest lane and people try to run me over. People are crazy these days.
Yeah.
Is
Eric,
it just me, or is it since COVID, people are
It
driving
has
worse?
been since COVID.
Okay, that's what I thought, too.
And
Well,
Vic and
so I think you're right. I think that they have been recruiting. Here's another thing. Those semi-tractor trailer drivers, back in the old day, those guys were on the road for 20 years. And they were
Right.
now they're 18 years old and
Lot
they
of
can
new
barely
drivers.
keep
Exactly
the damn
right.
road trucks on the road.
And,
no, they
and a
can't.
lot of
They're-
people that are illegals are driving those.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are.
Eric, the most important question asked this morning, for those who don't know, is part of Platinum Rock Legend. Their lead singer, Will Lackey, puts a funnel in his pants. And so,
That was an interesting.
And other
That's
things.
something you don't hear very often.
and because he's kind of known for putting a funnel below the belt, so to speak.
Is it a funnel?
Oh, yeah, it's a
Question
funnel.
mark?
Unfortunately, I've been up close and I've had to see everything.
I hope it is. Otherwise, he's got bigger issues.
Somebody's going to get hurt. The question is, was he wearing his protective funnel during this accident?
Oh my God! You know where that funnel came in? He used to
I
put
have
in
no
their bulge from a pillow to make his nether regions a little larger, and he forgot it at Ballpark Village, and Fredbird handed it to him, and he put it down.
Oh, no,
And he
no.
Oh,
True
my
story.
gosh.
True story. And
Fredbird.
He's used it ever since.
Fred Bird.
That
hilarious.
funnel
Fred Bird gave Will a funnel to put below the belt.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at Fredbird a little different now, and I'm going to look and see if he's got a funnel.
It was the
Maybe he-
Fredbird night at
Oh,
Ballpark
Freddie.
Village.
Or she. Yeah, maybe she has a
Freddie.
funnel in her pants.
The funnel of love. Oh my gosh.
The funnel of love.
So does this mean there's no jumping and carrying on for?
Not for a while.
Are you guys on the sidelines for a little bit? I know a lead singer. He helps out with the show in the morning from 8 to 10.
Well, the problem with getting another guy,
No funnel.
He's not above putting a
Scotty
funnel in
has
his
no
pants.
the
funnel.
problem with getting another singer is you got to say you have to suspend anything that you feel that isn't funny because it's just a funny show. It's like PRL, if you haven't seen us, is like a bunch of puppets. It's like it's not.
Well, it's like a Vegas show.
entertainment.
It's not
It's good.
Yeah.
It's not a band. It's more of a theater.
It is. It
experience.
reminds
Scotty,
me of a
can
Vegas
you pull
show.
up some platinum
No.
video
That
Right
would
now,
be
I
great.
can't take that.
so we can show
No,
you
Eric,
who
you
Will
can't.
is.
I just
you
can't take
can.
that right now. I'm sorry, my brain is not working right.
Poor Eric.
What do you mean?
I
I got
was
to
thinking-
see him Saturday. It was
I
very
was-
entertaining. We had a good time.
I was
Eric,
in-
you're a good friend because
Yes.
you are very, very upset by this, and you can tell you're a very good friend.
I think common sense has to start coming into play in all parts of our lives. Whether
Well, hell yeah, it does.
Whether you go and address the nation of people who just got shot up and you don't want to hear about your damn ice cream fetish, or whether
Right.
you're here talking about motorcycle riding in your late 40s or whatever it is, we got to get to a point where this country needs to start.
Yeah.
I feel like common sense has been thrown out the window.
Well, of course it
But
is.
what do I know?
Because if common sense gets in the way of a good story, if common sense gets in the way of promoting one party over the other, then we have problems. Speaking of the common sense, Trump spoke to Hannity yesterday, and
Saw that.
okay. Here's what totally drew me in and then pissed me off. Trump is Trump. Trump was more civilized in his interview with Sean Hannity, if you haven't seen it. He wasn't yelling and screaming. He was almost kind of complaining. I don't want to say whining, but he was more, quote, presidential. And now you have Republican pundits who are ripping him, saying he sucked because he's being who the national media wants him to be.
He just needs to be himself because
Well-
he's going to get ripped either way.
So the whole common sense, and the reason I thought about that, Eric, is because you're talking about common
Yeah.
sense. It's common sense to not be crazy, to
Yeah.
go out and be, or I shouldn't say crazy, but to be bombastic. And then Trump
Yep.
kind of does what, mainstream media says he needs to do. And then he's starting to get ripped by Republican pundits and say, hey, we want Donald.
But maybe that is Donald. We have to remember we all wear several hats at different times. And when I met Donald Trump back in the day, he was very calm, very professional, very businesslike. He was not all, flying off the handle. I think the little moments we see him overact to different things,
That's true.
those are the rare moments. I think in life, he's probably this calm person, calm businessman, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to accomplish what he's accomplished.
It's his disposition. It's a New Yorker disposition. People get in his face. He gets mad. He throws a temper tantrum to get skyscrapers built. You got to understand that it's not. He's doing things to get things accomplished, and the way that you're seeing the behind the closed doors a lot with Donald Trump of how he gets stuff done. He gets things done, and women don't like that. And that's all there is to it. And some men don't like it either.
He's a successful business person. I can guarantee you he spends a lot of time just being a normal person.
Yeah.
It's not all over the top, but the media wants to portray him. They want to show his wildest moments. So many people think, well, that's him all the time.
Yeah.
But it's probably not him all the
And and when history is written, the reason that the media is against him and that the State Department and the deep state is against him, when history is written, we will be able to have backed up enough to say it's not your personality we didn't like. You were in the way of our one world government. You were trying to screw it up. I feel like they've already bulldozed him. I really do. Now, what happens from this point forward? Because last night's interview was kind of ridiculous a little bit. It was an hour of him saying, I did nothing wrong. They told me to put a padlock on my files. I'm not understanding. Why aren't you covering Joe Biden like this? So it was an hour of that.
That was part of the whining that I almost felt like it was a whiny.
It was and he's dead on right.
And he's 100% right.
I'm sorry. He's got footage of these officers in his house completely going through all this stuff. He's like, I'm not going to release it. But if I ever did want to release it, I think you guys would be disgusted.
And that's the theatrics, because they know that the people on the fence will see that and they'll think, oh my gosh, Trump, look at what he's done. He's taken classified documents. The FBI, they're raiding his home. They're going through his items. They wouldn't be that forceful if he wasn't in the wrong. It's all theatrics.
Yeah.
And now you have some certain political pundits stating that he will be indicted before the end of the week again.
Did you get from that interview he wanted to be indicted?
Maybe.
Did you get from that?
Maybe he's pushing for it.
I bet he is.
He's like,
That's
damn,
why-
I wanted that mugshot.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Give me
why,
that mugshot.
that's why I said last week, he better hope he gets arrested.
Damn, I want that mugshot.
Yeah, I don't know that it's going to come from New York. I think, if anything, it's going to come from Georgia. But I think he wants desperately to get arrested so that he can put this thing in court. He loves the circus environment. So him going in and out of court, or his team going in and out of court, he loves that stuff.
That makes sense. It does.
As a matter of fact, if he doesn't go to court, nothing gets resolved. It's like nothing gets resolved. He can't. The prosecutor can't say, anything definitive. Trump can't say anything definitive. It becomes still kind of this wash of just hearsay. Yeah, you basically you had hush money to Stormy Daniels. We decided not to pursue it because we didn't think that our witness was very good, but you still did.
It's a non-case, and if he is arrested, if it does go that far, it's a non-case. And you know what? All it will do is prove that it's a non-case because Stormy Daniels already wrote a letter. It's been shared publicly that said he did not pay me hush money,
and he's a convicted perjurer. That's their star witness. He's literally on record being a liar.
Are you talking about Cohen?
Yes.
Yes.
So you have all of this stuff, and I want him to get arrested so bad because they can bring Alvin Bragg into Congress to testify on overstepping his authority as a Manhattan prosecutor, just to get on the record of how they're weaponizing this government.
It goes with each other. It does, which is why I just don't think we're going to see a mugshot of Trump.
I don't.
We will never.
I don't think we're going to get it as much as we
not.
want it. By the way, this is cancelthisshow.com. Rocking and rolling. We're getting through that first hour really fast already. Special thanks to Brad Young, Harris, Style, Fisher, and Young, who joined us to talk about what is a theatrical lawsuit instead of taking care of crime in the city of St. Louis. The mayor deciding to go after Kia and Hyundai, saying that they're the problem.
So ridiculous.
Not the people. And of course, he doesn't think that that's going to go anywhere from that standpoint. Joe Biden, we got into that already in regards to his just bizarre infatuation with ice cream about a school shooting and beautiful kids in the back. And you're a great congressman. And my God. So anyway, a lot of that crazy stuff is going on. What we do have coming up in this second hour, you won't want to miss it. I'm extremely excited about this. John Rich and Tom McDonald, who we talked about last week, they combined. People call them patriots. Tom McDonald from Canada had a song called Ghost that went to #1, and then he got canceled. Then they wouldn't play his song anymore because trans people said that he was making fun of Sam Smith, and then he got canceled. All of us had the #1 song that he produced himself, calling out record labels, calling out the music industry. Well, then he teams up with John Rich from Big and Rich, and they go to #1 on iTunes. #1. It's massive, massive story. We'll get into that. Oh yeah, speaking of our cancel culture show, a news anchor in Mississippi. Did you see this? She was fired for quoting Snoop Dogg.
Yes,
she literally quoted Snoop Dogg on air, and she got fired. You'll hear that video. It blows my mind. But then again, local news managers, they freak out. It's tough for them to lead. They don't know how to do that. Oh my God. We'll get into that. Smartphones. This actually came out some time ago, but it's getting more leeway now. I think it came out at the World Economic Forum. Smartphones being implanted in your body by the year 2030. I have no idea how that's going to happen.
This show makes no sense to me sometimes. Yeah. I feel like I'm on another planet.
But all the sense in the world, which is fantastic.
That's the scary part.
Yes!
It doesn't make any sense, but it's all true.
It is. And we try to cover a lot of the stuff to make and do those deep dives. By the way, you will not want to miss Friday. I'm guys, seriously, do your homework on AI.
I have.
Continue to do. We're going to throw a lot of AI stuff. Tabitha, you paying attention?
Yes.
Okay.
AI on Friday.
Sometimes you get caught up in your messaging with people.
Well, somebody was messaging me some messages about
what's going on
about the future.
About the shooter. No, about the shooter. And how the shooter in Nashville was messaging people, talking about how they want to die. And so I was just going to.
I'm going to die later today. Is what the shooter
14
said.
minutes later, as a matter of fact. This didn't linger for hours.
Yeah.
First call comes in. 14 minutes later, he is dead.
Yep.
Unfortunately, after 6 other people lost their life, but
I'm excited about Friday.
Yeah, AI, Artificial Intelligence Friday. If you guys have things, because you guys, our listeners, our viewers, you're part of the massive show as well. Jump in, let us know if there's things that we need to know about or take a look at. I continue to find so many things. As a matter of fact, I don't want to give it all away now, but a very influential person says that AI has already taken over the world. You just don't know it yet.
That's right.
which blew my freaking mind.
They can have it.
Then my son yesterday came home from school.
Yeah.
He's a freshman, and said that his teacher, I can't remember the class, said that he was telling them that even low-level attorney jobs are going to be obsolete.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was just going to say before you said that my biggest talking point on Friday about AI is going to be the fact that it's going to take over almost all jobs unless you are physically needed to physically do something, let's say auto body or something that physically has to be done. AI is going to do it for you.
Auto body, you just run the car into a garage with a bunch of robotic arms.
You could.
Well, you technically, you could.
And also coming up today.
Well, there's, McDonald's, there's a McDonald's or 4 that don't have anybody working
and
in them,
Taco Bell.
No, but I'm glad that you
several places.
But I'm glad that you brought that up, because also today at about 9:50, Curtis Sparks, owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair, Auto Body Care, he's going to be talking in studio about the car issue that you just brought up. He says the cars are getting more technologically advanced.
Yes, they are.
The people have to get more technologically advanced. But he also says the opportunity to make so much money is there.
Yeah.
He's like, literally, I got a blank check. Come be a technician. $85,000, $90,000 a year.
Yeah.
And these
no
are
debt right now. Come on.
Yeah.
And these are the jobs that will survive through this AI revolution.
So there's a lot that's going on there.
Well,
okay.
The robots in the restaurants, that doesn't work out. I've seen 2 of them fall over on their faces right now with food.
Well, and whenever they say they have autonomous restaurants like the McDonald's where there's no employees, there are actually people cooking. It's not robots cooking, but it's not people taking orders or waiting on people.
Well, Peter George says he's been to the kiosk McDonald's. He says it's a shit show ordering your food.
I was one in Kansas City, or going to Kansas City. It wasn't completely autonomous, but it was the whole touchscreen thing. Don't talk to me, don't look at me kind of a thing. And it was like, where in the hell is the cuss? The experience is gone.
Totally gone.
It is completely gone. Remember, you used to go to Steak and Shake, not for the food so much, but the interaction.
It's the interaction, yeah.
Robert says robots are cooking. Gosh, we'll get lost. We're going to do it for Friday. We're going to take a quick break. Check out our partners, our advertisers. Please check them out. We'll be right back. We'll get into all those subjects we were just talking about. We're going to have some fun. Lots to get into as we spice it up on a Tuesday, March 28th. This is cancelthisshow.com. Scotty Gherkin, Lizzie Sparks, Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel, and I'm Vic Faust. Back with more right after this.
And now here, the unveiling of the latest Carroll House Lifestyle Collection. I'm Brooke with my sister Amy invited me to see 3 football fields of the latest styles.
Our new lifestyle collections are premium quality furniture made exclusively for us and available only at Carroll House.
The attention to detail is unmatched, and so is the value, nearly half the price of a typical gallery store.
Plus, get free financing, delivery, and in-home design. Carroll House, because you like nice things.
All of you may know the home of the Cancel This studio is located at the all-inclusive private jet hangar Strategic Air Services. Founded in Chesterfield, Missouri, they take pride in offering a meticulous approach to private aviation through services that fully manage your trip from takeoff to landing. Strategic Air Services is more than just storage for your aircraft. They offer state-of-the-art amenities to its members and guests. When you are not traveling, you have the luxury of enjoying their world-class gym, conference rooms, lounges, and so much more. Strategic Air Services offers an unparalleled luxury experience for all things private aviation. If you're looking for a new place to call home for your aircraft, give them a call today at 636-400-7601. Again, that's 636-400-7601, or visit their website at strategicairservices.net.
If you are having a bad day at work, I can help. Hi, this is Curtis Sparks with Complete Auto Body and Repair. We just expanded to Cottleville and St. Peters and are looking for qualified automotive and auto body technicians that would want to work in a climate-controlled environment. That's right, we offer a fully climate-controlled, air-conditioned and heated facility in both Cottleville and St. Peters. Visit us at CompleteAB.com. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the car.
Big Strick, owner of Experience Real Estate Partners with eXp, has been one of St. Louis, Missouri's highest selling groups for 26 years running. In that time, Kathy and her team have successfully assisted an incredible 4,000 families. So if you're thinking about buying, building, or selling, be sure to put Kathy's group and their experience to work for you, and you can expect to be moved. Just give her a call at 314-276-SOLD. That's 314-276-7653, or find her online at experience-re.com. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. CancelThisShow.com. As always, check out all of our original content on CancelThisShow.com. Like, share, subscribe, do what you can. Send the stars. We love it when you do. If you can donate, we love that as well. We send you some goodies from that as well. Love it when you donate to the show. You can, to keep going what we've got going on, getting bigger and stronger every day, just trying to stay alive to continue to do what we're doing every day with the topics that we're doing. I keep saying at one point in time, we'll bring our marketing guy on so he can explain how you guys are helping the show grow, not only on the video standpoint, but on the audio standpoint as well. What we call the old school podcast. So we appreciate you guys being a part of the show on a daily basis and giving us all the information and letting us know who we can talk about and the stories that are really cool as well. Scott Gherkin's here. Do you care ever? Scotty comes off better, but I never see you write
I've been
Scotty.
Scotty my whole life.
So it's cool that we call you Scotty.
Yeah, my brother's best friend name was Scott, so I was always Scotty.
Aw.
You look like a Scotty to me.
Yes,
more
you do.
so than
He
a
does.
Scott.
I'm a Scott. No, it doesn't bother me. It's not, that could be called a lot worse.
That's right.
You'll always be Scotty.
Lizzie Sparks
Scotty's
here.
nice.
Eric Johnson, Tabitha Hassel, I'm Vic Faust. I was almost an Eric Brandon. I could have been an Eric.
You know, that's right. You
I
know,
was
Eric,
almost a Tobias.
You look like a Tobias.
Yep.
I like that.
I was almost a Melody.
Toby.
I like that, Tobias.
I was almost Tobias.
Hey, your flag is all jacked
I
up
like
over
that
there.
name.
Can you fix it?
It is?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
What has happened?
Come on. We got
What happened?
It's
We got
half man.
standards and protocols
Half-mast.
around here.
That's right. Eric, thank you. And Lizzie jumps over to take care of that. In the meantime, CancelThisShow.com. Once again, CancelThisShow.com. If you haven't had an opportunity, because check out all of our episodes. Go back through there, like and share. Share those episodes if you find one. A lot of the material that we cover continues to be evergreen, and it continues to go throughout as these stories and time goes on. So we try to find those stories and do the best that we can with that. Also, an update. Ronnie Robinson was a massive hit yesterday. He came in talking about his son, Brian, who was murdered in St. Louis City in 2018. He's now sharing and liking the show. His family said it was the first time any meeting. He spoke to TV before, but he said his comments were edited. Comments were deleted. He says that's the first time he got to speak raw. He got to speak honestly, and it really helped him and his family deal with the tragedy that they're still dealing with 5 years later. Says he loves what we do. He says there's nothing like it, and he's going to continue to share and support the show.
And Cedric yesterday. Did you guys talk
Oh my
about Cedric?
Yes.
We haven't gotten to it yet, Eric, but go ahead.
Well, Cedric, our friend, what's his last name?
Cedric Redmond.
Redmond.
Cedric
Redmond.
C-sharp.
C-sharp. He's got some good ideas for the city of St.
He's
Louis.
awesome. Love that guy.
He was running for, was it
Well, he was running for alderman. He lost
Alderman.
that race, but that doesn't mean he's done yet.
Hell no.
You know, he could come back,
Hell no.
get his name recognition out there.
Yeah, he came
But
in.
he's fighting an uphill battle, even though they don't have Republicans or Democrats as you run in the city. People know what he stands for, and you know, you just hope that his name gets out there.
Yeah, some of the so he posted on Facebook that he had a homicide right outside of his door.
Yeah, like
right outside of his
literally
door.
like
right
30 feet
at his
away.
door.
And he trains the camera at the car that got shot up, and I couldn't tell if there was actually a body in
There
the,
was.
Was that what that was?
A female, yes.
Okay. It was brutal, and this has happened all on Facebook, and you know, most of the most of the comments from his friends down there were like, stay strong or stay gangster or stay mean or what. But there's a few that came in that said, you'll never win because you're a punk ass, whatever. And they were like against him.
sure
Like,
but that's social media.
I was like, is that St. Louis? Is that how St. Louis runs? Is that this kind of thing is so normalized now that we don't even think about it? That, you know, if there's a murder outside your house, this isn't. If there was a murder back when I was in the 80s, it would have been national, if not international news.
Yeah, it is.
100%.
It can happen. But Eric, it's not Eric.
And I saw that and I was just like.
But Eric, it's social media. I mean, there's people who will rip us on our show, but it's usually the silent. Once again, we're the silent majority, but there are those who have nothing better to do than just rip or throw shots or throw stones because they don't like you or they don't like what you're doing.
What's the point of ripping Cedric because he said something about
he wants to bring new ideas to St. Louis.
So who are these people then? And that's what I'm trying to do is get in the head of somebody that would say, "Oh, you're a punk. You're never going to win anything."
Eric,
I don't understand.
They're the ones committing the
Eric,
crime.
just
like Ronnie said yesterday, he can't bring people for a protest because they might have committed a felony.
But Eric, just remember what he told us, and I witnessed it, and I have it on video. You had a white man who's now an alderman, who was elected alderman, who was like, and I can't call him Antifa or RevCom, but he comes from that kind of brand, and those are his ideas, who literally went up and assaulted Cedric, and we had it on camera because of the idea, because he wanted a spy plane.
Yeah.
These are the kind of people.
I remember when that happened.
Okay, these are the kind of people that are out there doing and saying that, because these are the people who attack and still go after you. I mean, it shows a lot about them, Eric. So you're never going to change everybody.
I just think that common sense is, if you're Chinese, if you are Mexican in a Mexican community, or if you're Swedish in a Swedish community, if you're African American in an African American, or if you're in a diverse community, there are just principles that are universal. That to me should be universal. Safety is one of those things.
Not being murdered.
Community safety should be universal, 360 degrees around the world. And this is crazy that someone's getting attacked. And I feel like that these are the people that are attacking us, Cedric, our hometown guy, that a lot of us were kind of rooting for. You know, it's like, no, we like this lifestyle.
They do. There are people who do like it. But Eric, a lot of people really, they don't believe in what our values are. I was reading a post on Quora the other day where somebody posted a flag of a J6er. He had a Trump flag out. He was in jail from J6. And there were 2,000, 3,000 comments under this flag, all diehard liberals. And they kept saying that we don't really like Trump, that we don't really support our police, that it's just all an act from us. They do not get us. They don't understand us. They will never see us for who we really are. And so when we talk about fighting crime, they really don't believe that we care. It's the craziest. That's why I say liberalism is a mental illness.
Just don't,
because
Eric,
it is.
Don't let it affect you, dude, because it's going to happen and it's not.
It does affect me.
So,
I love
and I know
St.
you
Louis.
I know you got onto that, and because
I stared at that post probably 20 minutes
because of what Ronnie Robinson said, and I get it. Ronnie just said, "Hey, thanks for letting me talk."
Yeah, I guess.
He's like, people need to hear it. We're going to have more on Ronnie. We'll have more with Cedric Sharp coming up. As a matter of fact, we'll reach out to Cedric, see if we can get him on later this week.
Yeah, no doubt.
That had to have been shaking. I mean, can you imagine how that would shake you up, having that happen at your back door?
I need you guys just to go sit in a dark corner of your house for about 10 minutes and imagine waking up to that, opening your door and seeing the bullet holes, and maybe probably even hearing it, and then being able to walk by that car and seeing a dead person in your front driveway, and not having the entire community just be freaked out. It doesn't seem like they freak out a lot.
Well, because it's human nature when things like that happen all the time. It's not that you like it or agree with it, but you get used to it.
It's kind of like the Eddie Murphy thing. Remember Eddie Murphy Raw? Remember Eddie Murphy Raw? And he goes, white people will move into a haunted house. they'll just say that's fun. But if black families get into a haunted house and they're like, oh, look at how nice floors, nice stairs. And then they hear a voice says, get out. And they go, too bad we can't stay. I can't. That's how I would be living in St. Louis, Missouri. I'd be like,
get used to it. When I
first
lived in the
shooting,
city,
I'd be gone.
Who would have ever thought I would live in an area where I heard gunshots every night, that I saw people with guns walking up and down the street checking doors? But I did. You get used to it. And you think, you know what? They're not after me. They're fighting other gang people.
And then I always think about you, Tab. I always think about you saying, I'm like, okay, I just saw a shooting. It was nice knowing everybody here. Thanks for the fish fries over the years and the barbecues. Bye. But I always think about Tab. She goes, that just will not happen because people, they will not get a U-Haul and they will not leave these communities. I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever
heard. Ask Cedric, is he going to move?
Good question. Call him up right now.
No, he's not.
Okay.
So anyway. All right, moving on from other topics from today from the standpoint, cancelthisshow.com. We appreciate you guys jumping in. Okay, switching gears just a little bit. Okay, here we go. Scotty, when you get a chance, could you please pop up for shizzle my nizzle?
Say that again.
You better be careful.
Say it again.
You know what?
Say it again.
Am I going to fire myself?
You know what that means?
I just want to hear him say it again.
Yeah, I know what it means.
I don't even know what it means.
Well, hold on. Here it is. This anchor, they were doing a story. This is in Mississippi. Okay, Mississippi news anchor. This happened back on March 8th. Her name is Barbie Bassett. She recited Snoop Dogg's popular catchphrase, "Fo shizzle my nizzle."
What does it even mean?
The commentary was in reference to a story about the Death Row Records owner's latest business venture, Snoop Kelly Blanc. Here's what she said, and then we'll tell you what's happening.
Okay.
Before we know it, she'd have a Snoop Dogg tattoo on her shoulder.
For shizzle my nizzle.
I'm telling you. Julie, what you think about that?
Okay. Oh, shizzle my nizzle. There she was. She gets fired for saying that.
Because nizzle
What
is
is
the
it?
same. It's the N-word. That's what nizzle means.
Actually,
What?
I read up on this too.
Mhm.
And it does not just have that meaning. It has a different meaning. It means to agree.
I only know the reason why she was fired is they said because nizzle is the same as the N-word. I don't know. I love Snoop Dogg.
the
despite
shizzle means sure. The nizzle means the N-word.
That's what they're saying. But she had been in trouble before. Did you know that?
No.
She had been reprimanded before on the same show.
But
because
for what?
She interviewed somebody from the Black community, and she said, well, you're grandmammy something or another. And she got in trouble for saying the word grandmammy.
And, and once again, there was nothing.
I'm not saying she did anything wrong. I think first of all, I love Snoop Dogg. I hear Snoop Dogg talking in my head all the time, all the time. I love the guy, despite the fact that he's super liberal. He is so incredibly funny, and I think what she did was funny. And it just goes to show A, the cancel culture that takes place in this country. B, the fact that there's no sense of humor anymore. You can't have a sense of humor. You just can't. You get fired for it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love this.
Actually, somebody from Rumble says it doesn't mean the N-word. African Americans are publicly defending her. Everything is not racist.
I agree.
However, here's the problem. A local news station and these managers, my God.
I'm so glad television is going down the drains.
It is going down the drains.
Man, when I was coming up in media, television was the highest rated. Radio was right underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking to the people and it was good. Remember when times were good, Vic? You remember those times?
Does anybody see how she should have been fired for that?
No, not at all.
I mean, I can't. It's not even controversial.
No, and they just played Snoop Dogg. The reason why she said it is because they just played a commercial with Snoop Dogg. And the man is absolutely hilarious. How could you not repeat it?
Everything.
Somebody should ask Snoop Dogg whether she should be fired
I
or not.
agree.
And he would say no.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's the first thing I thought. I was looking for a comment from Snoop Dogg and I couldn't find one.
Why don't we put a question into Snoop Dogg and say, hey, we don't know how to get in touch with you, but
a black man from the chat line says none of you are black. What does that mean?
But it's the same.
What does that have to do with anything?
He's the
don't give him his name.
Okay,
I
you're
stopped
right.
saying his name.
You're right.
But I mean, but we are 5 white people sitting here talking about
Wait a minute. What?
But what does that mean, Tabitha?
Shizzle my nizzle. I
But
mean,
what does
to us, it's hilarious. What does it mean to a black person?
Black people are defending it.
I still have no idea what it means.
Tabitha, black people are defending her publicly.
I know. I agree. And I'm 100% behind you guys and behind her. I think when I watched the clip, I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Shizzle my nizzle.
Man, this is
a cute pink shirt.
In her
saying
southern.
that.
But you can't
This
be
is
funny.
such.
You can't be
This
funny
is an
anymore.
inflection
I know.
point. This is an inflection point, and the only person in the world that can make Drew Collins feel stupid tomorrow is Snoop Dogg. If Snoop Dogg came out today and go,
Yes.
man, you need to rehire her. I'm done with this cancel culture crap.
Scotty, can we hear it again?
If that's
get a
the
chance?
only
It's
person that could make Drew Collins feel like the moron that he actually sounds like.
You know
when
what
he
I
says
thought
stuff
was
like
funny?
Yes.
When we play this again, her co-host in his kind of
know.
southern voice.
And he's laughing. Look at his face. It's
Well,
Snoop
the
Dogg.
guy to her right, as you're looking at the screen, in the
Uh-huh.
pink tie,
Yes.
you can see his eyes roll when she said,
He's like, yeah.
Well, this does look like your grandma saying it. If that,
Before we know it, she'd have a Snoop Dogg tattoo on her shoulder.
For shizzle my nizzle.
I'm telling you. Julie, what you think about that?
Yeah, the guy in the pink tie didn't look that
watch this video. There's a couple guys on a podcast talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently she used it before.
Because there's nothing wrong with it.
I don't know if that's fireable. Because she didn't. It's for shizzle my nizzle.
She might not even know what nizzle means, yo. I'm not, like, come on, we got stop, man. That's not a reason to fire that woman.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right there.
it's
See, and there
exactly
was
right.
black guys
like
defending her.
I
Do you
want her, I
understand-
want her on our show. I
you
got to
under-
try to find her.
You
Yeah, try to
understand,
find
right?
I'm gonna track her down.
You understand, right? That Snoop's big days were in the 90s. This looks like a 90s chick, like she might have graduated
Yes.
in the 90s. And that was
Graduated.
that was their culture.
I'm
Maybe
pretty
high
sure
school.
she's
Her kids
a lot
graduated
older
in
than
the
that.
90s.
I'm sorry, what?
Her kids graduated in the 90s.
Her kid? She's that old? You
Well,
think
she's
she's that
probably in
old?
her 60s, don't you think?
I'm not good. At
But it doesn't matter. What she said is absolutely hilarious. She was just being funny
I thought
because
she
they
was
just
funny.
picked
Hell,
Snoop
yes.
Dogg.
The
She
only
didn't do
person that
anything
can
wrong.
fix this right now, there's two people, I think. I think Shaquille O'Neal and Snoop Dogg are the only
what do
two
you
people
mean? Oh.
that could come out and fix it.
Actually, the only person would be
Snoop.
Well, here's the problem though. She's not getting her job back.
Why?
Because once
She will never get her job
once
back.
they fire you, they fire you. They don't bring you,
You
back.
know, so can it,
No,
hey,
she won't get her
here-
job back.
She'd
She-
already been reprimanded as well.
Is there a
so-
possibility
Yes.
that there's this thing called a reverse backlash where instead of
Yeah.
protesting the station to fire her, they protest the station to bring her back?
No, but
there's no
once,
chance.
no, once you're fired, you're fired.
No chance in hell, huh?
No, but now another station could if she wanted it, if they had an open spot.
And
That
what
could
about
happen?
what about intent? Nobody ever talks about intent. When she said this, she may not have even known what the
Derek, I
nizzle
saw.
means. She may have no idea. I mean, and she wasn't saying it to be.
But what if she
mean.
identifies as a black
And
woman?
she very well
Wait a
I
may.
minute,
bet
what?
she does.
Oh,
What if she
I
identifies
can't
as a black
take this
woman?
anymore.
She probably does.
She could have a black
I
husband
cannot
and children
take this
for all we know.
anymore.
You've entered the twilight zone.
Right.
I can't
That's why
take
this
it.
show is so great, so unique, so different, so hip. That's us. That's why, because we have these conversations. That's why we are the thing to do now. Come on.
I need
We
a
got to have these
society-
conversations. Get out of the old mold.
Right.
Oh, we have to do this, and we're going to do this. We're going to sit here as our old damn anchor.
Who was it that just said that? Who said that?
Dear God.
Who said
Jane?
what?
Wait a minute, hold on. I don't know. Someone on Facebook just said we should call this station.
Carlene said that.
Do we have any way to call out? Is there? I would love.
Yeah.
Give me the
If
manager. on
we
the
could
phone.
call out,
Get me the
Eric,
manager.
you
Seriously.
need to call the manager
Yeah.
and say that. That would be
Get me the manager on the phone.
I
Come
will.
on,
I'll
Scotty,
talk.
get the manager on the phone.
Who am I? Who am I? I am Walter Cronkite's. Here it is.
Lord.
All right,
Come on.
I'm playing the part of Walter Cronkite's grandchild, and I'm
Yes.
and I
Yes.
and my first assignment is you. Okay,
love it.
How's
I
that?
love it.
And I
Do
need
it.
I need a comment from the station management why you fired this lovely young lady on air
Yes.
for saying fascism. I can't even
Why
say
can't?
it.
Why
How do
can't
you say it?
Fashizzle manizzle. I don't know. Eric
Fazizzle,
says it.
I
Fashizzle
cannot
It's,
say
manizzle.
it's 4 words. Faux shizzle manizzle.
Why- we
Faux
need-
shizzle
Shizzle,
manizzle.
shizzle.
We need Snoop Dogg. We need a clip of Snoop
And
Dogg.
like
saying
Tabitha
it.
says, we're just white people saying it.
Okay.
It's
I don't even know what it means. That was not my thing back
Well,
in the day.
People say that nizzle is the N word. Now, there's other people who say, well, it means other things besides that. I don't know.
But this is the problem with vocabulary now, just like life. You can identify as whatever you want to identify with. And now you can have whatever meaning to a word that you want to have a meaning to a word.
Yeah.
And if there's no racist intent behind it, that should go really long way.
Okay.
And maybe she's like me. Snoop Dogg narrates so much of my life. I hear him in my head all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have you ever watched those videos?
I'm lost today. So Snoop Dogg is in your head
all the time.
He's the narrator of your life.
Much of the
Snoop
time.
Dogg's
yes.
in her.
How does it sound in your head?
There's no way in hell he'd accept that role.
How does it sound
Have
in
you
your
ever
head?
have you ever watched the videos of Snoop Dogg narrating these animal videos? We have to find one of those.
I've seen
one.
one. It's funniest as hell.
Funniest
They are.
Scotty, you got to come in here and bail me out. I got to tap out of this
Scotty's
day.
busy calling the manager. So that
and
Rico
you already
the
sent
Nizzle
Scotty on
could
another
call.
mission.
All right, Scotty, I'm sorry, but man.
Snoop is in my head.
So what I learned today is I don't know how to say physicians. I can't even do it if I tried. I don't even know how to say it. And Tabitha Hassel, basically her subconscious is Snoop Dogg.
It's supposed to mean for sure by N word.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Kevin says this is just a bunch of drizzle, skizzle, mo-whizzles.
He's right.
Mo-whizzles, yes. And
Yeah.
you're supposed to be Rico Romizzle when you call.
I'm more like Rico Suave.
We need that as a drop.
We do. We need that for sure.
You're
That is
watching
so
Cancel
funny.
This for shizzle, my nizzle.
It's like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I couldn't say the word ambulance.
Ambulance?
It was ambulance or something like that.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Who cares?
But I think the issue here again is this particular anchor has been accused of being racially insensitive in the past.
Okay, fine.
But this is Mississippi. It's Mississippi, and they do things a little differently there.
MISSISSIPPI. Yeah, that is.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Because would you be upset if you said the word grandmammy? Is that a bad word? Does it have racial connotations? Grandmammy. Instead of saying grandmother or grandma, she was talking to somebody, a black person, and used the word grandmammy.
I thought there was one word off
racist.
limits. Now we put a bunch of landmines in the human language or the English language. Is that what we're doing here?
And I called my grandpa Granddaddy because he was from the South.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I called him Granddaddy.
And grandmammy is a term, like an affectionate endearment term.
Yeah, that's sweet.
In the South. I mean, I don't understand, but I'm a white person. Maybe it means something different to me.
Not in your head, you're not. You're Snoop Dogg.
Oh, I'm Snoop on my head.
She's snooping.
I still would like to know how that works in your head.
Scotty,
Don't go there. Don't even try to
no
go there
wonder
with
she's so
Tabitha.
crazy.
We need one of the
Got a lot in
videos.
her head.
We need a video of Snoop Dogg, first of all, saying that phrase. And then we at some point need to see a video of him narrating these animals, especially that one where there's the lizard trying to escape the snakes in the desert. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I give up. That is the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Oh my God.
You've not seen that?
No, I have not.
Oh my God. Every person on the planet has to see that.
I'm too busy trying to save the world.
Snoop Dogg is hilarious.
All right. We'll reach out to this woman, Mrs. Bassett.
Do we have
would be great.
Yeah,
That would
well, hold
be
on.
awesome.
Here,
Find Mrs.
what station does this lady work at? Does she have call letters?
No, she did. Yeah, it was. I had it up. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can find
Because
it.
Eric, it really would be hysterical.
Well, here,
if
you know
called.
what? We're a bunch of talk. We're a bunch of hot air on the show, but maybe this is one of those times where it's like, all right, let's rally and let's do something.
She worked at WLBT, Southern Mississippi.
Well, it's easy to say it again. WBLT.
BLT sandwich.
Actually, LBT.
LBT. Cute.
LBQT2.
And like Jamie Ann said, Snoop did an entire song called Shizzle My Nizzle. And when that's exactly why this lady said it. But yes,
and they're talking about death row
Just
records.
being funny.
Yeah.
Correct. And Troy is right. He is a liberal Democrat hack.
All right, let's call
But he's still absolutely hilarious.
Who's the Democrat hack?
Snoop.
Oh yeah,
that's Tabitha's head.
That's
pretty much.
I'm trying to find something, but
so good.
I got to be careful what I play.
No, that's what goes on in her brain.
Find the video. The one with the little animals is funny. The little I don't remember what those are called, but the one chasing the lizard with the snakes chasing the lizard.
I know that he's great friends with Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
Well,
that's a weird combination.
That is a weird.
She reminds me of Martha Stewart, like an unpolished version.
No, Paula Deen. She looks like Paula Deen.
She is more Paula Deen.
You know.
Unfortunately, Paula Deen was canceled as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, then if we find any of that, we'll go there. Another, what I thought, and I brought this up earlier, story I thought was just fantastic. John Rich and Tom McDonald combined for a song called "The End of the World." I sent a picture to you, Scott. You can pop that up when you get a chance, just so you know what Tom McDonald looks like again, too. It's a cover of their song. You're talking about two pro-American musicians, John Rich, of course, the country singer, Tom McDonald, the guy who's the rapper, then had the number one hit in Canada, number one, all by himself, producing music all by himself. We talked about him last week. Then trans people started reporting him to the Canadian government and radio stations because he had ripped and said that he did not think that Sam Smith was a good person at the Grammys, called him a sellout, said that he used to be a certain way, and then he turned into this demonic trans, whatever you want to call it, the Grammys. So then his number one song was stopped playing at radio stations because people tried to cancel him. Then he's like, you know what? F all y'all. I'm going to go be who I am. And he started making fun of the people who started coming after him. He joins forces with John Rich. They have a damn good song called "End of the World." And in a matter of a week, number one on iTunes over. Has anybody heard of Taylor Swift?
Who? No. Yes.
No, I never
And the Cyrus girl,
Miley.
Oh, Miley. Yeah. Number one over Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift. Those two guys, "End of the World." And they did it all themselves.
Well, Morgan Wallen, don't you put him back in there?
Well, we talked about Morgan recently.
Okay, so is this just the next in line?
Well, Morgan had a number one hit.
No,
2 years after.
Well, right, but
2 years after.
But wasn't that what made him really popular?
It's part of it. We were talking about it. Could be.
He's playing at Busch
Stadium. And now you have
playing at Busch Stadium.
And you didn't even know who he was.
He was playing pageants. The pageant back then.
Well, 2 years. Yeah.
He was not big.
And then you have Tom McDonald and John Rich now, the number one iTunes song anywhere in the world. They're number one after people tried to cancel Tom McDonald.
Does that say something to you?
Yeah.
What does it say to you?
It says that what we're doing here is a good thing.
Okay.
Right.
It also says to me,
to
me that there's a big blanket of people that are sick of this crap and they don't care.
That talks about it. It's a silent majority. Many people talk about it.
But
the silent majority.
The silent majority to me is just, you can't feel them. You can't touch it. Whereas the liberal stuff you can touch and feel, and it smells bad, and you don't shower and all this stuff. But this story right here is an example of what people are really still interested in. They are interested in this stuff.
They are.
Country music, even though it kind of is crazy to me that country music is blue collar Democrat. It is. I'm sorry, it just is. They will vote liberal before they vote Republican. But there's a part of country music that could be the savior of the United States, because it still represents the people that go to NASCAR. It still represents the people that fill stadiums at country shows. It still represents, it's kind of like the new blue collar. So you can kind of feel what Tabitha always talks about as the silent majority. Yeah, but it's not even so much about the music. It's just about the people that are drawn to it.
That's true. And the music happens to be pretty darn good. I'm not over the top crazy about the End of the World song as a music standpoint, but when you add it with the mission, the music and the mission, to me makes it a must-see, must-download deal. And I will download it. I haven't yet, just to be part of that movement.
Well, that's just it. We have to support the people who support us. I'm not a country music. I can't stand newer country music. I like the really old stuff. But I'll tell you what, I will support the people that support us regardless.
I'm with you, girl. I'm with you. And I would say this also, I'm so excited. I don't care what poll you read right now. I don't care about seeing Trump last night on Hannity. I don't care about any of that. It's going to be telling if a DeSantis is the nominee or Trump is the nominee, if he can still go into, let's say, Oklahoma City and sell out a stadium with his messaging.
Trump will beat him in a landslide.
And then you go, and I want to see what happens to Biden in this next thing. Will he be able to go into an Oklahoma City and put a stadium together?
And you compare that with this?
He can't even go to a CVS and put a together.
And I don't think that he's going to be able to hide in his basement this time. And it's going to be fascinating to watch CNN try to cover Biden at these events.
Democrats know this too, and they'll come up with an alternative. We're either going to have a new virus.
What?
It's probably going to be that fungal thing that's
Scotty,
going around.
did you find something that we were looking for? Did you find video?
Tabitha sent me a Snoop Dogg video. So
all right,
Snoop Dogg.
Let's go back to Snoop Dogg about fascism.
I guess this is okay to play.
I've not listened to it, but we can play anything we want because we're
I thought you. I know. I thought you said.
Yeah, but it creates an editing nightmare for Scotty. I bet it's okay.
I don't think it's bad.
Planet Earth.
I'm your host with the most, Big Snoop Dogg. We're gonna be checking out some animals today. Roll the footage, man. Let me see what we got up here. Looking at rams and elks and This is some old, ancient that the Rams did in the 1800s. You know what I'm saying? To prove their toughness in order to gain the stability. Oh, he double teaming his ass. That's up right there. That must be his son or something. It's supposed to be one-on-one fights. Then he doubled his ass up. I never understood Rams. Why do they do this? What do they get out of this? Some ugly too. Is them Rams or billy goats? Well, what I've learned from watching this is jack. Oh yeah, it's gonna get real cold up in here right now. Check this out. Them seals, a whole bunch of seals or walruses? Okay, walruses, cause see, seals don't got long teeth like that. Oh, polar bear. Don't he eat walruses? Wait a minute. There's too many of them. You gonna get one of y'all. If I was one of the walruses, I'm jumping right in the middle, so I'll be the last he gonna get. See, you on the outside, he finna get you. What you thought? Put your black ass in the middle. Oh, that's up, but ain't nobody gonna really help. Be jabbing him in the back with them long ass teeth. They ain't doing Look at it. Let me go. Get swim. This is a dumbass polar bear. He can't even get one. You gotta get the lame one. You can't fight. You got the toughest one he trying to fight with. Oh, see, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Stab his ass. Help him out. Help your homie out. Stab that with them long ass teeth.
All right.
And there are so many more of those out there.
Tabitha Hassel's brain, right?
It is exactly how
Tabitha insisted upon that.
Yes.
Tabitha, you are so cute.
That's how my brain narrates things with Snoop Dogg's voice, making fun of these animals. And there are so many more of these videos. You guys have to go out and see them all. They're hilarious.
I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day.
Now you know what I do all day.
Mm-hmm.
So shizzle my nizzle. Oh my God. There we go. Yeah, guys, that's some pretty good stuff. Once again, this is cancelthisshow.com. I love it when we get into all these topics and we have some fun. But at another topic before we have Curtis Sparks coming up to talk about complete auto body and repair. Okay, Eric, you said that you're a little out there today with our topics, and
no, I'm not. It's like normal. I'm out there.
Are
with
you
the
ready? Are you ready to have a phone technology device planted in your body 2030? They talked about this at the World Economic Forum. By the year 2030, we will not have these devices anymore. It's not all that far away. 6.5 years about.
I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface.
Wow.
Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
And
no,
that's the CEO of Nokia.
No. Mm-mm.
How?
I'll tell you why.
Why?
You know who will be falling for that is the maskers. People like us who did not take the vaccine and did not fall into the masking thing. We're not going to buy it.
I think
the mask will be the cell phone. Maybe they don't have to put it in your pocket.
I have a theory about that. So we were supposed to have all electric cars by this point, and electric cars are dropping, right?
Yeah, Ford just lost billions of dollars. The electric vehicles have not come on like we thought they would.
Yeah, people are not stupid. They're
blowing up.
They're waking up. They're waking up. And then, so anything, I'm trying to imagine the good people of Woodstock, Illinois, having Nokia phones put into their brain. It's not going to happen. Okay. So a lot of this.
But there is a push.
And they're not saying it'll be everyone. It'll be some
well,
people.
fine. There's
It
all
won't be
kind of nutty people
everyone.
out there. And if you want to have, there's people in Seattle, and probably 1,000 of them, that have a little chip in their hand.
I was just going to say that.
And that little chip basically gets you in and out of doors and pays for your food. And it's a experimental system. It doesn't mean that it's going to work.
And people do it voluntarily. People volunteer. Look at Panera Bread right now. They have palm scanners whenever you go through the Panera stores.
If they put the cell phones in your brain, it's the end of humanity. Because you're going to be able to download everything that you can search on the internet through your brain, and it's just going to control you.
Dear God.
Correct. Scotty, you
Okay.
are right.
I don't go into
I don't see it working.
I don't
that
go
way.
into Panera's. You said they have hand technology?
Yeah, the Panera Bread, they're having
How gross. So everybody,
No.
do you touch something?
You're
or do you just
close.
hold
You're close. But I think this is what Tabitha's talking about is they have a little chip and they put it right in your hand.
Well, these are two totally different topics. But yes, Eric, there are companies out there who are chipping their employees. It's a voluntary program where if you get chipped, then you
get chipped.
When you go to work,
It's like
your
your
door
dog.
opens.
It's like your dog.
You can go to the cafeteria and buy food and it scans on your chip. But I'm talking about bread company, Panera Bread. They are using palm scanners. So now when you go to a bread company,
biometrics.
yes, and it's not that invasive, but yes, you're putting your palm down on a palm scanner. And that tells you if you are a loyalty member, do you have loyalty points? Do you get any coupons? And that sort of thing. And it can also verify your payment. You load your payment into, let's say you go online and you tell them what type of payment you're going to use. And when you put your hand on the hand scanner, it automatically pays for your order.
Okay, so this is all over the country right now?
It's rolling out all across the country.
Wait, when you say roll it, so for example,
it's already in some stores. Not all of them.
In some ways, Vic, it's actually better than credit cards. So that's one of the technologies I don't mind because yesterday.
Why is it better?
Well, because yesterday I was online and I was searching for something and it said, would you like to buy this? Put it in my cart. And somehow Google had it saved in my browser and it says buy now. I hit buy now. I thought I was going to have to put my credit card in there. No, it said, congratulations, it's on the way. I was like, wow, that's crazy. But here's the deal. Your palm is very identifiable to you and you alone. And if you have a bio reader that is somehow attached to an account, correct? Right, Tabitha? Is that what you're talking about?
It's tied to an account, yes.
If that's the way it is, then your credit card is literally your hand or your finger or your thumb.
And that's exactly right. And Paula was just saying she had to use her thumbprint to get into a tanning bed. I mean, this is just the direction of technology.
I don't have a problem with that.
Lisa, but
you
look
can
what
buy
Lisa
these for your
says.
home.
Lisa
even.
says they can shut your money down though too.
They absolutely can.
No.
That's what's scary.
Okay,
That's the scary part.
Okay, fine. But
The flip side.
it really is you're getting rid of the plastic in your wallet. That's all you're doing.
But we don't. Here's the thing. We need to go to cash. We need to start using cash. We shouldn't be using the plastic in our wallet. We shouldn't be using our palm. We need cold, hard cash because the problem is,
no, I can't go with you there.
When it goes to digital money, whether that's using your palm print, the phone in your head, the thumbprint, whatever it is, or a credit card, you are giving everyone the ability to control.
I hear you, girl.
Your money.
I hear you, girl. But I have a stack of ones that are just all crumpled up in my bed right now that I don't even know how to put in my wallet. So I don't agree.
That's a whole nother story.
All right, Eric.
What you doing for all those ones?
Yeah, those ones.
In his bed.
Making it rain.
We have to, Eric, we have to use
know.
cash. Cash is king.
No.
We have to use cash.
I hear you, girl.
I try not to even go to places that don't accept cash.
I hear you.
Because it will go, if we don't start using cash, cash will cease to exist.
I hear you.
And then you know what?
I love you.
Are nothing but a blip
You're
on a
fantastic. But here's the deal. The millennials don't even know what you're talking about. The Gen Zs don't even know what a damn dime is.
That doesn't matter. None of that matters.
It doesn't. None
of that matters.
Why doesn't it matter?
It does not matter because we still count. We're the Gen Zers. They don't even have any money.
You're living on
the people we are the people out spending money. And I'll tell you what, if you
how are you going to buy a shirt online?
I'm trying to tell you, if you start going to stores, stop shopping online. If you start going to stores and you demand they take your cash or you're not shopping there. If a good portion of us all took our money and we said, hey, we're not shopping if you don't take cash, if you don't take our cash, you're going to force them to keep cash on hand. We have to keep cash
I love you, but
relevant. We're the people spending the money.
Gotta live in reality.
Them.
Gotta live in reality.
I love you, Tabitha, and I agree with you 100%. But guess what? You can't force them to keep cash handy.
We can't, but we can stop using our dollars to shop at their stores because we know our money is what hurts people.
But our digital currency is coming.
It's coming, and we can't stop it.
And we can't stop it.
I know that this is what it felt like the day that a lot of the new inventions came out. I know that the horse and buggy people hated Ford's new product called the Model T. I know that feeling now.
But this one's not good.
I know the feeling of when it was like, I love my candles and my kerosene lamps, and the light bulb was trying to make an approach.
Very
I know
different.
that
Very
feeling.
different. Very
I know
different.
that feeling. We are now in an era where the kids don't even know what you're talking about anymore. They are looking at flying cars as their next thing to conquer. And this thing with the digital currency, it is not a big deal to them. And we are in their world, and you're just living in it.
I think it matters to some of them because we all value our money and our ability to buy. And even your example with going from a oil lantern to electricity. Think about this. Back in the old days, you controlled your lighting, didn't you? As soon as electric came along, guess what? If you don't pay your bill, a bill that people never used to have, people never paid bills for power. All of a sudden now, if you want your house to be lit, you have to pay the power company. And if you don't pay the power company, they shut your electricity off. Same with the water company. Water used to be free. Now, all of a sudden, now that we have a public water system, if you want access to water in your home, you have to pay someone for it. And the same thing is going with digital currency.
It's the same thing as having an outhouse house with a house that brings the toilet into the house. There was a grandma somewhere going, you tell me you want to go to the bathroom in my bathroom or in my house? There's all kinds of transitional shifts that have happened in the last 300 years.
It doesn't mean they're all good because of these shifts.
Yeah, but
now we can't even live off of the earth anymore.
You like the chip thing, Eric? You like the chip?
The chip thing? No, hell no, because the chip thing, first of all, it's technology, and anything you put in your body, you have to go to Best Buy to get the upgraded version. I mean, when are you going to get you got version 10 in your arm. Now you got to get version 14.0 or whatever it is. So technology should never be hardwired to anything. I have a closet full of phones from 2004 that will never turn on again. So that's what technology does.
Well, what happens, Eric, when your Bank of America, I think you shop at, or your bank at Bank of America. When you bank at Bank of America, what happens if someday you decide, hey, I'm going to go buy a gun, I'm going to buy some ammunition, or I'm going to purchase something that they don't want us to purchase, and all of a sudden, guess what? Your account is locked up,
suspended,
and there is nothing you can do because there is no cash to go to the store.
It's like this. Unfortunately, here's the deal. Here's what you are in the back of the line. The deal is this. So you have these very liberal people trying to make sense of, are trying to create laws that you don't like. There's going to be a day when the people that are making laws that you don't like are going to have people in front of them making laws that they don't like. Like this whole, I'm going to give you an example. We come from a very conservative background. I would love to see the United States turn back into 1987. You guys suck, this era sucks compared to 1987 as far as I'm concerned. And I think a lot of people would agree to that. And they could even quantifiably make an appointment.
88 was better than 88.
Whatever.
Okay.
Now, there's people right now that think that having men play against women is completely normal. Well, they're going to become 40, 45, 50 one day, and their kids are going to say, Mom, I'm marrying a pig. And I'm actually going to have a ceremony with a farm animal.
That's actually happening in some parts.
Or there's going to be a day when they bring in zoology relationship, whatever they're going to call it in the day. And their 8-year-old is going to be taught that marrying a pig or any animal that you want is completely okay. And having a very fruitful life with animals, farm animals. Well, those people that were trying to push this stuff down there, where does it end? Where does liberalism actually end? There's going to come a day when they're like, I'm not comfortable with this.
You're saying that we should just give in and put down our cash and start using the cards and give in to the digital system. And I can't agree with you on that.
You have no choice.
You do have a choice.
You already said that you have
eventually it is for sure probably going to currency. But we even have bigger problems than that. Just think about when Russia comes out with their cryptocurrency backed in gold. I mean, what's our dollar going to be worth there then? No. We have all these countries.
And that did happen. We got to get into that at some point. That is so true.
And I know we won't have time today, but we do have to talk about it.
I don't think
that's a big story.
It's not the bio stuff. It's not the fact that your credit card will be obsolete pretty soon. Hell, I buy Starbucks with my cell phone right now.
What happens when your credit card company goes under?
Here's the deal. here's the big problem is that whatever you have on your credit card is not backed by Fort Knox anymore. It's not backed by gold.
It is in some countries, it's just not in the United States.
It's literally
in the United States.
It's backed by it's backed by the federal treasury saying, I think we're going to go ahead and print another trillion of these $1 notes. Why not? Throw it into this system. And then them being so stupid not to understand what the consequences of that are. That's where your big problem is. Whether you put a damn chip in your arm and you go buy some eggs without actually going to the counter, that's not really that big a deal.
Think about this, Eric.
Putting a chip in your body,
it's not that big a deal, Vic.
It's a really big deal.
It's like me duct taping my credit card to my shoulder.
I know. There's something wrong about putting a chip in my body.
Well, then don't do it.
I know.
And and then they can use them to track you. There's so many things they can do with this. We are heading down such a crazy path.
Yes.
We cannot allow, we can fight back as much as we possibly can. We don't have a choice. We have to do what we can to hold on to some things. And I realize things are going digital. And what is our dollar even going to be
Here's how
worth?
I look at
What
Joe
is it
Biden.
even
I
gonna
blame
matter?
all this on Joe Biden and Obama. Here's how I look at those two. Ever see Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
And the liberals are the little kids getting ready to walk into the chocolate factory. And Joe Biden is right at the door, right?
Oh.
And he's singing the song right before he opens the door and says, you guys can go and just play. The liberals are literally walking into Willy Wonka and the chocolate factories, eating all the schnozberries and doing whatever the hell they want to do right now without any kind of limitations on what they're doing. You literally have 2 years to figure this out. If they get another 2 years, the liberals will own Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and you will have no say in any of this stuff. You have 2 years.
Well, we have a
That's
lot
how
less,
I look. I mean, that's all I can say.
We have less than 2 years because Eric, and I know we don't have time. We have a guest coming on. Things are rapidly changing. The U.S. dollar is losing momentum. We have Russia and China.
By the day, actually by the month.
It's happening fast. We have Russia. They're getting ready to come out with a cryptocurrency backed in gold.
Wow,
that is going to be insane.
Yeah,
we have countries like Kenya.
We are effed, Eric. We're effed with that. We are.
There are 37 countries right now who are saying we are no longer going to trade in the U.S. dollar. We're going to use the yuan.
It's the first time that's happened.
Well, I think that there's a few important things. I think it's vital that when they start doing the postmortem on this era, that they make damn sure that this was Biden's fault. This had nothing.
It's not Biden's fault. It's our fault because we comply.
This has nothing to do. Well, this has nothing to do with Trump. It doesn't even have anything to do with Obama. It has nothing to do with George Bush. This is Biden right now that is in control of this thing, and he's asleep.
We are in control. That's what we always have to remember. Biden's not in control. We are in control.
But one thing that we have tried to do, though, and we bring Curtis Barks on all the time. Well, when Curtis comes in from Complete Auto Body and Repair, is we talk about the issues. He wants to give money out. He wants technicians to come in. He's trying to pay a ton of money, which also gets back into, hey, you don't have to go out and do this. There are all kinds of jobs. There's things that you can do right now. I've got a ton of them here. He even air conditioned the studio. So we're going to talk with Curtis Barks, who comes in on a weekly basis to talk about Complete Auto Body and Repair. Scotty?
And I bet he takes cash.
Absolutely. So
I bet he does too. When you know what, Donna on the chat line asked if we took cash for the stars. And I said, well, no, but she's welcome to come by the studio at any point and hand us some.
Come give us some cash.
Yeah, so I said, come by anytime and hand us some cash.
We'll hang out in
received.
Yeah, in the Carroll House Lounge. We'll take all the cash.
Here's
Eric's
the deal.
taking it in $1 bills.
It's like I feel like this. If the NFL develops new rules on the offseason, and you're a football team that has to play by the rules and beat the other team by the same rules, you bet. And the one team it's allowed to pass the ball and the other team's not allowed to pass the ball. One team is going to win every single time.
Exactly.
And that's what's happening with the Republicans.
That team can be us.
The Republicans need to learn how to pass the ball.
They do. And we're going to get to our interview now. We'll close out the show after the interview. All right, we're with our friend Curtis Barks from Complete Auto Body and Repair, our show sponsor. We appreciate him teaming up with CancelThisShow.com. You're not going to find a better auto shop anywhere. Auto body at its finest. Curtis, welcome back into the show, my friend. We appreciate you kicking butt.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so very much for having us.
Okay, you guys have the elite climate-controlled facilities. Can you remind people about everything it is that you do?
Absolutely. We have stores in St. Peter's, Cottleville, Hazelwood, Ferguson, Delwood.
They're everywhere.
So we love it. But in order to keep good people nowadays, you got to take that extra step. and we believe in that. So we reinvest back in our team, and we put air conditioning in our auto body shops and repair shops. So the full climate control.
You need technicians. You guys have lots of business. You're still trying to get more business, clearly, because people are happy when they come in and see the results. But you have to have technicians to do it. You told us the last time you were here, man, there's so much money to be made, and there's positions open.
There is. In today's world, if anybody would just go to work,
That's right.
You can be very successful.
The trades are where it's at.
They are, absolutely. Kids are coming out of high school making more money than their parents ever made. And it's just a great opportunity to win right now if people just want to go to work.
How can people find out more about what you guys are doing, or how can they apply?
Online, CompleteAB.com. It's nice and simple. So just at www.CompleteAB.com.
What kind of technicians? What are you looking for? What kind of skills?
So at this point, we're looking for 2 more master techs for our Cottleville location. We're looking for 2 more master body technicians for our St. Peter's location. And we're looking for about a half dozen tow drivers. As we expand the auto body and auto repairs, we're also taking on, we also have Bolin services. So that towing facility is probably one of the largest in the area and is continuing to grow. So
I've always wondered this too, Tab. Can you train to be a technician with you? I mean, do you train people too, or
yes?
How does that situation work?
Well, whenever we do training programs, they take about 2 years. So people will come in, work 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off. That way they can still go to school, go to high school, college, whatever that takes, and allows us a chance for them to get to know us. So that way we can kind of weed through the folks that maybe don't want to switch jobs, but they switch careers. They realize that, hey, I don't even want to do body work. I want to go sing music, whatever you want to do, because that's what kids are doing now. They don't change jobs, they change careers. And but with what we do internally and sitting on the board of a number of different school board type things where Rankin and tech schools and things like that, we're huge proponents of that. We sponsor that a lot.
Yeah, but the last time we talked to you, we were talking about that, about Rankin. You actually hire a lot of people straight out of Rankin.
We do.
You have a lot of people who are attending classes at Rankin, which is very hands-on training, that work with you. I think that's absolutely phenomenal.
No, we love it. And we just need more people to go to Rankin.
Yes, we do.
That way we have a better selection, because the guys, it's crazy. The young ladies in the industry are growing drastically. So our technicians, 2 of our new technicians are young ladies, and they're doing amazing. So it doesn't matter what age, doesn't matter anything. Just go to work.
And I just read a report over the weekend, and it talked about various trade industries, how it's so desperately in need of people to just get out and work, as you say, because they're saying that the trade industry is dying with the older generation. You know, we had that big push for the 4-year college, and the trades is what really suffered. But right now, the trades, that's where it's at. Right now, that's where you're going to make the most money.
Agreed. And trades needed everywhere. You know, like you said, all skilled trades, carpentry, plumbing, you know, anything, because there's not going to be anybody to do the work.
That's right.
In the next couple of years, there will be nobody to come out and fix anything that breaks.
Well, and especially going into the economy where we're in,
Oh,
because, you know, it's been difficult to buy a new vehicle for the past couple of years. It's going to be even more difficult, I hear, to buy a vehicle over the next couple of years. So that means more people are going to hold on to the vehicle they have.
Right.
More people are going to have those vehicles repaired. And therefore, we need many more people in this industry to work.
Absolutely. And technology is not slowing down. So the cars are going to get smarter. The trucks are getting smarter.
That's right.
Which means the technicians have to get smarter, and the equipment's got to be smarter. So it's a huge reinvestment to put back into the industry. But as long as we do it collectively, we can keep the economy moving.
I love having you here, Curtis, because we learned so much from you in a variety of areas. Curtis Sparks from Complete Auto Body and Repair. We also love talking to you about things going on with your wife. She is rocking and rolling with her State Farm agency, but she's also, and I know, believe it or not, I was told she knocked on somebody's door in Cottleville that I know. Right. It said she came by. I know she's been to practically the entire community so far. Emily Swift-Wise, she's out there rocking and rolling. But tell us about, she's up for election coming up here for Alderwoman.
So Alderwoman of Weldon Spring. She believes in making a difference. We've had the same board. The gentleman she's running against ran unopposed. So it needs younger blood. No disrespect to age, but just newer blood. Don't matter how old anyone is. Age doesn't even matter. It's just a fact of having that energy and that drive she's got. I mean, she's knocked on, by the time we're done this week, she'll have hit all 700 and something homes in her ward. And it's key because you can vote this week. You can actually vote right now. It's called, no excuse voting or something like that.
You can vote now?
You can vote today. You go any day up till Friday, March 31st. You go by the St. Peter's.
I despise early. I can see unless you're out of the country for whatever reason.
But it's a good thing we know, because now people can get out and vote for your wife just a little bit early. And that would be normally for the April 4th voting.
Correct.
They can vote now under the no excuse voting law.
Yep, and there's some good things to come out and vote for. The school board ones are some big
amazing.
Yeah, the school board stuff coming up. That's what we've always encouraged everybody. Go check out who's running. It's impossible for us to break down every single community and do it fairly, where you're covering every single candidate so everybody understands. So go check it out. Know your own school district. I can't say it enough.
Do the research. Just get online, ask the questions, whatever it takes. But it's not a time to sit back and not make choices.
And that's how we fight back. Yes, I talk a lot about fighting back. This is where it starts. It starts at the polls, because we know we have some good candidates out there like your wife. People have to get out and they have to cast that vote, because your vote really does count when it comes to these local elections.
It's big. And if you look at the results of local elections, not many people vote.
They don't.
There's 300 people. So if you and a couple of your friends, you could make an impact on swaying the vote one way or the other.
That's right.
So it's really, really nice to know that you can make an effect on local politics.
And we're starting to see how local decisions are affecting everyday life like we never thought they would.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you didn't vote. There were 300 people, as you talk about, Curtis, that voted. Oh, yeah. And here's a decision that's now going to affect the entire community, even though you didn't vote. So when they see her name on the ballot, it will be listed under Emily Swift. Why?
Emily Swift Wise.
For Alderwoman.
For Alderwoman. And you'll know her beautiful face is on
in
all of her
Walden
signs.
Springs. Yeah, of course.
So, she's a stunning woman inside and out.
Well, Complete Auto Body Repair, that's Curtis Sparks. He's got a lot of great things going on. If you know somebody who's a technician, somebody who's got some experience, somebody who's looking, look no further than Complete Auto Body and Repair. We're getting to know Curtis here. He's partners with us. We're getting the word out. Massively, massively popular. You guys do an incredible job. Tabitha tells us she's trying to get her son.
Oh, I'm working on it. But I don't have to work on it. He's extremely excited.
Tabitha said, "Hey, I'm trying to get my son to come in." And he goes, "There's a blank check waiting for him, literally."
Yes, there is.
And
exactly.
I was like, oh, that explains the
And as soon as I told him air conditioning, his eyes lit up, because he's worked in this industry for so long.
Sure.
And it's some of the productivity is so low at some of these places, because some of these people are having heat exhaustion.
Sure.
It's no joke. It's not for the faint of heart to be working in some of the extreme heat that we have in these areas. And it's so rare an opportunity for a technician to be able to work in an air-conditioned garage. I mean, It's completely unheard of, but it goes to show how much you care about your employees. And not only that, but I know you have other incentives as well that you give employees.
Yes. The programs and benefit packages we offer are second to none. We have the best health coverage, matching 401k, all the company picnics, the company involvement, the give back to the community. I serve on the board of Guns and Hoses, and I serve on the board of Backstoppers, and I enjoy those things. It allows me to get in touch with the community and make a big difference, make an impact. And so we keep that true to our employees and our team members, and it allows us to grow and take care of their family. We do mastermind coaching. We'll help them with their personal finances. We'll talk to them about relationship advice, things like that, things that we just don't know who to call, especially today when there is no one to call. But we do provide those services, and we send our teams to leadership schools. We send them down to the Maxwell, things. There's just some really cool stuff that, if you think outside the box, what I do is more of kind of like a managing and growing. It's not just fixing cars.
Curtis Sparks, we appreciate you joining us today. We'll catch up with you next time. All right, bud?
Right on. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you.